Students at schools across the country are walking out of class, protesting against gun violence and lawmakers' refusal to implement broadly supported gun legislation. An ABC News and Washington Post poll found 89% of Americans support universal background checks on gun purchases, and 86% support red flag laws that allow courts to temporarily confiscate weapons from people deemed to be a danger to themselves or others. Now, some Republican senators say they're willing to talk with Democrats to see if bipartisan solutions are within reach. White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks joins me live now for more on this. Mary Alice, how much movement has there been on Capitol Hill when it comes to getting some of these more popular measures onto the floor?
Well, Diane, we're seeing a glimmer of hope these last few days. Some bipartisan, a bipartisan group of about 10 members meeting behind closed doors. It was significant, I will say, that the Republican Senate leader Mitch McConnell gave them the green light. Obviously, nothing's going to get done on Capitol Hill unless the leaders of both parties sort of sign off on the talks. I don't imagine that if anything gets done, it will be sweeping. It will probably be pretty narrow in scope. Still, even if they were to pass something narrow in scope, something modest, it would be, that alone would just be such a sea change, So I think that everyone here in Washington kind of holding their breath, seeing if anything can happen, because at least both sides are talking.
Meanwhile, former President Trump, Senator Ted Cruz, and other prominent Republicans are scheduled to speak at an NRA convention in Houston today. What can we expect from that?
Yeah, like you said, former President Trump is the headliner there. He's really the keynote speaker. There's going to be a lot of attention just on everything that is said just days after this shooting, just a few hundred miles from where it happened. Governor Abbott, Texas Governor Abbott, did pull out of his public remarks. He's now just sending a video message, but Senator Cruz still slated to speak. A number of other Republican governors will be there, thousands of advocates and NRA members. But of course, we're also expecting significant protests. Gun safety advocates will be present. They want to make sure that their presence is known, and I think that all eyes is just going to be on that convention as people want to see what that large lobbying group is willing to talk about and what answers they have when they are continued to be pressed about whether they would get behind or support, or at least not get in the way of any gun safety measures.
And now, Mary Alice, Texas Governor Greg Abbott blamed the mass shooting on mental health issues, but advocates point out that he has diverted state funds away from agencies that oversee mental health programs, and the nonprofit group Mental Health America found that Texas ranked last in the nation when it comes to access to mental care. So how are lawmakers addressing that side of the issue?
Yeah, Diane, this is kind of a sad irony in all of this. We so often hear Republicans say that this is a mental health problem, a mental health epidemic, and yet we're not seeing sort of money spent to support that theory, to support mental health services, not only in Texas, really, but across the country. I want to share some of these stats with you. They are just really stark, really tough. 38 million people live in Texas in a county where there are more access to guns, it's easier to get a gun than mental health services. And it's really an issue nationwide. At least 1,500 counties in the U.S. have more firearm dealers than mental health providers. That's according to federal data. There are 570 counties with absolutely zero mental health service providers. And in 41 counties, take a listen to this, 41 counties across the country, at least 10 times as many gun dealers as mental care providers. So we just continue to see, in relative and comparative terms, so much easier access, so much just an easy access to weapons, and such a hard time finding mental health services across the country. And like you said, especially in Texas, even if people wanted to get help, even if they wanted to get help for their loved ones, it continues to be such a challenge.
A sad but true reality. Mary Alice Parks, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.